the Rutland Regional Planning Commission Executive Finance Committee meeting on today, Monday, July 7th at 5:30 today. Call to order at 5, I've got 5:31.
Perfect.
All right, first item is introductions. Do we need introductions? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So we're gonna move on to.
Everyone's here except for Drea.
Yeah, we're missing Drea. I hope she shows up, and you're watching the online. Okay, first item is approve the agenda for today. Do I have a motion to approve?
So second.
Barry. Dave, second. Thank you. Everyone, to approve the agenda, please say aye.
Very
Aye.
polite, very polite committee today.
And thank you, Erica. Moving on, June 9th minutes. I did read them.
They were
I'm
small.
going to present them if needed. I don't think so. Any need for any changes, or can I have a motion to approve the June 9th?
I'll make a motion to approve as
Dave,
presented.
And I'll second.
second Bob, thank you. All in favor to approve the June 9th minutes, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Awesome. All right, open to the public, no public, yes, dog, no. Doing your move, Erica, with the dog, no.
The dog is sleeping very quietly on the floor next to me.
Oh,
He's
so we have
smart.
2 dogs, all right.
We're
Word
getting
of
there.
warning, word of warning though, come 6 o'clock, I may have to leave a few minutes. He knows when it's 6 o'clock in food time. So
Yeah.
if
We'll
I
be
just,
done before that.
We are gonna be quick, watch this. All right. Okay, next item is executive director's report.
Yep, I'm gonna keep it light. So
Alright.
first things first is our new planner started Tuesday of last week, Sean Beatty. He was our intern last year. He comes to us from University of Miami at Ohio. He has a planning degree. He grew up actually
Florida.
Ohio.
Oh, hi.
I know,
Oh,
Miami,
University of
Ohio.
Miami.
Yeah,
Oh,
weird
hi,
one.
yeah, Ohio.
He grew up in Jersey, but he's been living in upstate New York with his parents, so he's close. He's been doing great so far. I'm really confident that we'll transition from Jeremy to him really smoothly. There is some outstanding energy work that we're trying to button up, just enhanced energy plans, but really exciting to get him on board. Obviously, the other thing is, the big beautiful bill did pass. So, we are bracing for what that means for budget come October. So hopefully everything that we have currently seems secure. The biggest question right now is the FEMA stuff. Is FEMA going away? Will our emergency management program go away? Our goal here is Maggie has been working with Vermont Department of Health on this COAD, long-term recovery group, the Rutland Disaster Cooperative or something. We're going to keep moving forward with that, whether we have the funding or not, just using our state funds, because we think that is way more valuable and we can do it without their money. So more to come on the budget stuff. Right now, everything looks pretty strong. We're in a new fiscal year. We haven't closed out the books yet. MK is going to be working on that over the next month, but it looks like we'll end in the black, which is really, really good. We have no new revenue planned. We kind of are just working through the existing stuff that we have and the new projects coming up this fiscal year. So a lot to report soon on these new projects as they come up. But overall, I feel like we're pretty good. Other than that, we are right now, I'm ready to transition to regional plan because there's not much else. The other thing actually I'll mention is my schedule. So I took those first 2 weeks off with baby. For all of July and all of August, my plan is to be working half-time from 12 to 4 to gobble up that paternity policy. So I'm going to take the 4 weeks over 8 weeks by working half-time. Did it last week. Last week was my first week back. So I just want you all to know, like, if you're trying to find me, call my cell if I'm not here from 12 to 4. But staff have been doing their thing, everything's going well, and frankly, like, you guys know, July and August are our slowest time, so everything's in good shape there. I just want you guys to be aware that, you know, I'm only here those hours
Mhm.
right now. Unless these meetings or other things pop up, I'll try to flex my schedule around. But that's pretty much it for right now.
When you end up in the black or an RPC ends up in the black, is there anyone in Montpelier that looks at that, scrutinizes? Maybe we gave you too much money, we'll cut it down next year.
Great question.
And the
So,
other part of it, do you have knowledge of other RPCs ending up in the black or the red?
yeah, so we all have to end up in the black, and not only that, but not have to, but we all should, because even if there's a little revenue, it's not showing that we're over supported. It's showing that all of us have a fund balance policy. And as you know, it's supposed to be 6 months of operating. And as our budget grows, that fund balance is supposed to grow as well. So we're actually behind the ball a little bit. It was good last year that the fund balance that we requested, we didn't end up using. So we didn't have to subtract that 18,000 for the office renovation and the VAPTA stuff. So we actually want to see a little bit more revenue this year added to that fund balance to grow that cushion. The bigger point for you, and I think for us, that's everyone in VAPTA is really self-conscious of and trying to focus on, is carryover for grant funds. So we might have a little bit of revenue, we end in the black, but we're spending down every dime of our grant funds to do that. There have been several RPCs over the last couple of years, this year included, that are not spending their grant dollars all the way, to the tune of some 50, some $100,000 that they're carrying forward. Most of the time, it's because of, like everywhere, a workforce issue. They have some planners leave, they can't backfill, and then they have this slug of money that they didn't spend. So in terms of our grantors, that's the thing that I'm, as chair of VAPTA, most worried about, is like making sure that when we produce a budget, we're sticking to it and it's accurate, feasible, and that when we ask for more money, that we're actually spending the money they're giving us in the first place. So we got that 3% bonus last year on the property transfer tax. We have a few RPCs that didn't spend it all, but one way we're spending some of the money is the VAPTA website was in shambles. I was like, hey, some of you guys have a bunch of money. Let's update this website using Group 6, the guy who did our website, now in this fiscal year. So that's one way we spent some of that money. But you're absolutely right. It's constantly looking at, are we asking for the appropriate funds and are we spending them? And not just to spend them, but on something actually useful. So
you have the carryover, but is there any like grants where there's use it or lose it situation?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
That's where
there
you gotta
are.
spend it.
And those are the worst kind to leave any money on the table. So
okay.
I think I give all the kudos to Mary Kay that we never leave money on the table,
Yeah.
never, unless the work isn't there, in which we're always trying to pass that straight face test of, is the work there to justify it? If not, give the money back. But most of the time, you guys know the work is not the problem. It's the lack of money to address the work. So, yeah, we won't be handing a dime back. Know that.
So can I ask a question about the
Yeah.
fund balance?
Yeah.
Is that a recommendation from your auditors to carry that fund balance? Because, you know, in the city, we had the 10% was
Yes.
always,
Yeah.
you know, what we needed to, you know, if it was a $20 million budget, it was $2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a standard. I think I'll have to ask MK, but I'm pretty sure it was the auditor that
Yeah.
said, hey, this
This
is
is
like
what
the
you need.
standard for your type of organization to be able to operate if the floor falls out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll never have to deal with that,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And cities obviously so different because you're tax based versus us being grant funded,
Right.
but still, yeah,
It's
yeah. Yeah, we did.
It's good business.
It's good business, yeah, and we're trying to maintain that level, but we're falling behind a little bit, so. All right, regional plan update.
Okay.
So, phase 3 engagement, it's over. We're done. We're done with engagement for the rest of this plan until we hit the hearing phase. So I'm so impressed with our staff. This, as you all know, was all three phases were an insane amount of effort. And I'm really proud of them. I think we are the gold standard for how you do engagement with regional plans. And now it's in statute. We actually have to produce a big report to describe how we achieved meaningful public engagement with our plan. So we feel confident we'll easily achieve that. And since we're the first one being reviewed, I think will be important. So we're going through the feedback now. I am disappointed we didn't get as many survey responses as we wanted, but asking people to read something versus just fill out a survey without any ask that's the difference, right? The first survey had 1,200 responses because we didn't ask them for anything. This time, read a lot of literature that's not fun. No, it didn't happen. So that being said, the real engagement for us happened with those town meetings. So I was telling these guys, we're like this close to being done with the future land use map. That effort, as you know, a lot of you were in those meetings. We've been to many towns, multiple times. So I think all in all, there were like 35, 40 meetings that we participated in for that effort. I saw the draft today and it is really nice. It's really cleaned up, really polished, and it's refined to a level where I feel like it looks like the region. So I'm hoping we'll have the digital version ready for the board meeting next week. So that'll be exciting. That's the thing I was worried about the most with our timeline. I was telling these guys, most RPCs, they don't have the same schedule we have. So they're barely like really starting their mapping process. So the fact that we're about done is great. Last week, we kicked off Task 4 Rev 1, which is the last revision before it goes to the Land Use Review Board. So we have until Friday. Friday is our last day to do the drafting, and then it kicks off a 3-week review period. And we'll talk about how if you all want to be a part of that review period. I would love that, but I've also asked so much of you already. If you want to be involved, great. We'll get you copies of that updated draft. Some chapters have changed a lot from the draft that you just read in layout, just because we felt like they weren't quite up to snuff. So other chapters, very small refinement. This next version, when we do the review, it won't be in layout. It will be back to the read in a Word document. So sorry about that, but we need time to get it to the graphic designer because Liz Thompson is going to be putting it together in August. So when we bring it to the board in September, it'll be actually in layout. But this time it'll be layout from cover to cover, completely done, appendices, glossary, everything. So those are the loose ends that we're working on now. Otherwise, that is really all that's left. So we're feeling pretty confident that we're going to get to this finish line at the end of this week, do the review. Once it goes to the Land Use Review Board, we're sort of in a holding pattern until November. We'll do one more revision from November 11th to December 19th. And then December 19th is when we warn the public hearing for January 20th. That'll be our first public hearing. And we're going to do several different public hearings around the county. And then we'll do our last and final public hearings in April, with the final public hearing being the board vote of you all to approve the plan in April. So that's like the tentative timeline. Based on the feedback we've received so far, I do not think there's going to be a last minute holdup of this plan. I think it's going to go through, but that's why we're offering this next week, is one more bite at the apple for the board. If they didn't feel like they had a chance to really weigh in and vocalize those issues or whatever, next week will be that time. I do not envision we'll meet in August. So hopefully that comes as some relief for you guys all. But that's about it with the regional plan. We're in the final stages. Good. Thank God.
If we want to provide review comments, you have a way that you would like it, or you.
For this next phase?
Email, hey, I saw it on page 45, and I can.
For last revision or this one?
The
The one upcoming?
I do the one upcoming, but wait, you said the graphics are not gonna be.
Yeah, so
on it?
if you have comments on those graphics
That's
from
what
last
I'd like
revision,
to- that's what I
email them
was-
directly to me and I'll make sure they get.
Okay, just
Yeah.
do okay.
So yeah, I don't envision the regional plan committee having to necessarily meet again. Unless we get a ton of comments from the land use review board, I'd like us to meet in like October, November. So we can sort of put it in that, that works.
What's that hearing like? You mentioned you used the word hearing. I mean, are you involved? Is it back and forth? Are you in front of these people or?
With the public hearing or the land use
Land use
review board?
review board?
No, it goes to them. We like,
Just,
they send it to. Well, actually, we're not totally sure. They're doing the criteria for the regional plan review now, and we're looking at the draft. There may be a very short like presentation component, but the vast majority will be them taking it and they have 60 days to review it. Not only that, but they have 60 days to send it to all the agencies and get their comments, and the land use review board has to actually address the agency comments before they get sent down to us, so they have to do a lot.
and who are these people? The land use review board?
They're appointed by the governor.
Okay.
So 3 of them were former planners. Janet Hurley's the chair. She was Manchester's planner and now, then Bennington County Regional Commission's planner. Alex Weinhagen's one, he was a planner in Heinsberg. And then the other 2, one was a land use attorney and the other one was a Act 250 commissioner.
So they have the background.
So they have a
Yeah.
really diverse background. And I'll keep you guys up to snuff on like all the rulemaking is happening now. And as it comes out, I'll report to you guys on the board as to like, okay, tier 3 is gonna be this. Tier 1A is gonna be this, tier 1B, so. I'll
Is
let
our
you know.
plan the first one that the review?
First
board will
one,
see?
yeah,
Review?
yeah.
Oh.
Which could either be good or bad, but
Well,
I
yeah,
want it to
sometimes
be,
they
I
fly
want to
through
get
and
in,
the next
yeah.
one gets hit hard.
Yeah, that's my hope. At
We'll see.
least there'll be nothing to compare it against, I guess, right? So I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's like, some Vermont CUD flew through and then
Right,
we
right.
went through right after.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Yeah,
You guys
Chittenden,
aren't flying
Chittenden
through this
County
one.
or Northwest are right, like, the week after us. We're staggering them, like boom, boom, boom,
Yeah, yeah,
so,
okay.
yeah, we'll see.
Good.
Yeah, so for
Alright.
July, Board of Commissioners, I've gotta take a peek at a couple things. So one, Wells Town Plan. We didn't warn it for the community committee because they had some issues with their hearing process. The town is sort of arguing that they did it right and we don't think that they did, so we're trying to encourage them to go through the hearing process again. So I